but I do think we should be able to get everything we need off. So we're gonna go ahead and get the bonus here, swap on back in, get our other things going on right here, and then I think Escanor should be able to do whatever he wants to do. So bonk, and we get, of course, the clear. So we had everything we needed, we got everything we wanted, and we beat our score by 3 whole seconds. Hey, what's up everyone, Blade here, and welcome back to another video of 7 Deadly Sins Origins. Now, as you guys saw at the beginning here, we're going to be testing out the fire team, and particularly the new fire Merlin Engrave, in which this is going to be an interesting one here, because I was not expecting it to do as well as it did, and honestly with the new raid set as well, it really does complement her very well. But what I'm going to go ahead and try to do for you guys is we're going to go ahead and get into the fair different amount of dungeons. After we do the dungeons, I'm going to show you guys my gear and do a little bit more of an explanation on it. So enjoy the video. One thing I did want to notify you guys about was I do have a P10 Merlin as well, so do keep that in mind. And the Merlin is going to be pretty much maxed out on the amount of damage that she can actually get out with her other weapons actually upped. So keep that in mind as well, but enjoy the rest of the video, you guys. All right, so getting straight into this one here, it's going to be fairly interesting because finally we have a use for Merlin and her ults. Now, the main deal at first was we never really had a huge use for her, and it was very prominent that that was the case because at first we weren't really using her. We were just quite literally doing whatever we wanted to do for our burst, and then we kind of left it at that. But now we have a use to actually go for the burst first. That way we can actually get the HP and go ahead and take full advantage of the character's damage. As you guys can actually see there, we killed pretty darn quickly before he even got to leave. And with that in mind, she not only did a little bit more extra damage from having the actual armor, but also the extra damage in general from being able to pop off the ult. Beforehand, you could do the ult, but it wasn't as prominent, and that was very noticeable whenever we were doing any type of content. But now that we have this, we're actually able to do that even better and have no problems whatsoever and take full advantage of her entire set. But with that out the way, we're gonna go ahead and go into our next dungeon, which I was gonna cut to it, but instead of doing that, seeing that one was so quick, we're gonna go ahead and go into the newest Golem. Now, the Corrupted Golem is another boss that quite literally does take a lot of fire damage itself, and this was kind of one of the few that I found was very much so strong, right? It actually lived a little bit. Unlike GALAND, where we kind of killed him very quickly, this was one of the few that when I was originally doing it, did live a little bit longer than GALAND. So I wanted to retry this one and see if we can get a little bit better on getting our clear here. So we did 23 seconds on GALAND itself, which honestly we probably could have did a little bit better if we just decided not to wait on him and just swap when we need to swap, but who knows. Let's go ahead and go into this one, and we need to go ahead and do our setup, make sure we get our Elizabeth here as well up, and once we do all of that stuff, we honestly can see how much we can really help this team out a lot here. So we'll go ahead and pop this. I think I popped it a little bit early though, and I don't get my first hit as well. So we're gonna go ahead and do this, get our 2 off immediately, and we're gonna try to pop off as much of the burst as possible. So once we get the burst up, we can go ahead and pop off the ults, which gives us more than enough time to. And unfortunately, I got slapped on down, and I didn't get my actual thing that I wanted here. But after we get the special on, we deal some decent damage, and it was pretty decent. Now, granted, we did not have the most of gauge there, so we didn't really take full advantage over what was going down there. But I do feel like we could easily kill this guy. So we're gonna redo him one last time because I really want to see what all we can actually do there, because that was a very slow run. I do feel like we could have killed him very quickly. One, if we hit our debuff on him, and then 2, if we were able to actually not get knocked down. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut on back into this, and we're gonna try this boss one more time. I'd like to introduce you all to a reoccurring sponsorship of mine that allows me to save a ton of money on 7DS Origin, and that's Loot Bar. Loot Bar is a top-up website that is trusted, secure, and immensely cheaper than many in-game stores, in which you may have heard of it quite often if you're in the gacha gaming space, and for good reason. Lootbar.gg is my main way of saving money, seeing that you can get up to 20% off on many games and their currency. The way that they do this is by using official top-up channels, unlike unauthorized sellers do, in which I use them quite often. But not only for just 7DS Origin, but my main game P5X, Do at Night Abyss, and that's always been the thing on this channel. I'm a little bit of a cheapskate, so of course, if I can save some money, it obviously has helped me out a lot. They're pretty fast and reliable, and the more you use them, well, the faster it's gonna end up being. All you gotta do is click my link down below, which will give you various deals for in-game items, all on 7DS Origins. Give it a little bit of time and the item that you purchase will be delivered for you to enjoy. If you'd like to support the channel and consider, of course, staying around, consider checking that loot bar link down below. It really does help me out and allows me to make good videos like this all the time. But with this out of the way, let's go ahead and check into the video. All right, so running our way back into this one here, I do feel like we really can do better. So let's go ahead and give it another shot here. And this time I want to make sure not only we get our effects off properly, but that we actually can do everything that we want to do. So I'm gonna try to distract it with Merlin, and I do believe we still need our first hit with our Daisy. So obviously I'm gonna go ahead and use my buffs here and then immediately try to get the debuff off with our what's it called, with our Elizabeth. So let's get the first hit in, make sure electric charge hits, of course, which I don't think we got it yet. There it is. And now let's move it all around, get the extra hit here, use this immediately to get the extra burst. Just gonna move on out of the way here, pop this on off. And at this point in time, I think we have more than enough time to do what we really want to do. So block what we needed, and we didn't even have to really do all of that, to be honest. We already had our flare, we had everything we really wanted to do, and that did more than enough damage. Now obviously my time in this dungeon is already pretty slow because you saw that was only 59 seconds anyways, but there is a clearer way to actually test this out. We're gonna go ahead and do a time space junction, and I want to see if we can beat our score on the last fire one that we ended up doing and see how good we do. So let's jump straight to it. All right, so just to avoid the screw fest with the golems, I decided to choose Fraudrin, which honestly I don't think is that bad of a choice as well, because Fraudrin himself did give a little bit of people some problems as well. But we're gonna see if we can go ahead and take care of him and see what we can do just now. But I do think we should be able to get everything we need off. So we're gonna go ahead and get the bonus here, swap on back in, get our other things going on right here, and then I think Escanor should be able to do whatever he wants to do. So bonk, and we get, of course, the clear. So we had everything we needed, we got everything we wanted, and we beat our score by 3 whole seconds. Our time last time was about 28, in the 28-ish range, so us getting it to 25 is pretty darn nice. Now keep in mind, the reason that we're dealing all that damage really does stem from her engrave, which we're going to go ahead and talk about right at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's get straight into that. All right, so going ahead and looking at the gear that she actually has to use here, we're going to be looking at this engrave right here. Now the engrave, the Seeker of Knowledge, not only allows us to take more advantage of her burst efficiency side of things by giving us a lovely fire burst efficiency, but it also allows us, as long as we're triggering a burst, all allied heroes who are fire, their fire attack is going to increase by 16%. Now this is at a level 2 range here, so it could be a little bit lower for a lot of you guys, but that's 16% for 30 seconds. Well, whenever you do use her ultimate move, which originally we were using a little bit, but it was kind of on and off. Now when you use it, the allied fire hero's ultimate move damage is now increased by 24%, pretty much allowing our Escanor to not only nuke even better, but also allowing our ultimate move crit damage to be upped by 50%. This is amazing when you think about it, because if we go ahead and go to my Escanor, for example, I don't have the heaviest of crit damage on him. I'm sitting around like 115. So if you add on that 50% that you actually get, that's now 165 on Escanor alone. No buffs included, nothing else besides that, which is a very huge addition. Alongside of that here, it then gives you a 13% max HP increase on the hero as well, meaning guess what? Escanor is going to hit even harder as long as he has more HP, which is an insane amount of things. Then of course, when you pair that with the new raid gear set, which I only have the 5-piece set on my Merlin, my other character Gother has the 7-piece set, but on the 5-piece set, we're then able to also get the critical damage from getting a tag skill in here and the extra burst efficiency for herself, allowing us to burst even quicker. Now granted, that's on a tag skill, so technically we should be using a tag skill to swap back in, which I don't think we did that on 2 of our runs, but it does help you quite a lot. As long as we're activating the burst as well, all of our characters are getting an elemental attack increase, in which who are going to be the same element by 10%. That is actually freaking fantastic when you see it, especially seeing that we're going to deal a lot more damage with our Escanor and any other side characters who are the fire attributes with this said set. I think that's pretty darn cool, and with how she performed today, I think she performed pretty darn well. If you guys are considering making this set, honestly, I would say it's kind of worth it, especially if you're going ahead and using a fire-based team. She's very fun to go ahead and use, and if you can get the right stats on here as well, it's going to make your time playing this character even better. But let me know down below in the comment section what y'all think as well, and show me exactly how fast can you clear. But till then, everybody, thank you for watching, stay safe, stay sharp, and peace out.